What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So I bought some fragrances a few days ago. Here's the package from Fragrance Buy, and they had a massive restock on a bunch of stuff. Some stuff I've been waiting to come back in stock, some stuff I've been procrastinating getting that I missed a few times that they stocked, but we've got some new stuff from Lacoste, what I believe to be one of the 3 best design releases of the year, Boss the Scent Magnetic. I mean, there's Chrome Parfum, there's some goodies in this box, and we're going to bust them open and give them a smell. So stay tuned. Before we jump into this unboxing, I wanted to let you know that I did purchase these fragrances over at fragrancebuy.ca. They have partnered with the channel to bring you content monthly. Though they didn't send these out, I did purchase these. There are links below that are affiliate links and provide the channel a small commission at no additional cost to you. That helps support the channel for me to pick up fragrances like this for us to go over here on the channel. Those of you not familiar with fragrancebuy.ca, they have a bunch of cheap, affordable Middle Eastern fragrances that are all the rave right now. New release designers, they usually get them first. They are one of the leading discount sites online worldwide to buy fragrances. They've got niche and you designer cheapies, you name it, they probably have it at a great and competitive price. So definitely check them out down in the links below. But let's get into this unboxing. So I'll show you guys, then I'll bust them open and we'll go one by one. But one of the newest releases in the Cool Water line, this is Davidoff Cool Water Reborn. So please excuse the mess, I'm still unpacking everything and getting settled into the new place. But the newest release in the Brioni line, Brioni Eau de Parfum Essentiel. Super excited about this. We have 50 ml Boss the Scent Magnetic. We have Lacoste L1212 Eau Intense, the newest release in this line. We have last year's release in that line, L1212 Blanc Eau Fraiche. We have the newest version of Chrome Parfum. This is a tester with cap. Then finally we have a 50 ml of Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum, which I have been wanting to get a bottle for a while. I had a decant and emptied, so I'm going to bust all these open and then we'll give them a sniff. So the 3 that I've already smelled and already familiar with, we're going to save for last, but we're starting with the Redeemer, Cool Water Reborn. So their last release that I smelled that came out this year was Oceanic Edition. I did a full review on it. I was very disappointed in that fragrance. I'm expecting this to redeem the Cool Water line for me because I can't believe I actually found a Cool Water flanker that I didn't like. So I'm expecting a big bounce back here. I don't know the notes, but again, I'm expecting a bounce back. Here we go, standard Cool Water bottle. Has a gradient that's almost like a bluish, a purplish hue, but yeah, it's blue. I'm sorry, that was my background shining through. That's what you see right there as part of the background on my monitor. But clear to blue gradients. Very nice, very nice. 4.2 ounce bottle. Let's give it a spray. I have nothing on my arms anywhere because I knew I was going to be doing this video. Give it a spray. Let's give it a second because there's always perfumer's alcohol to deal with. It has this airiness and kind of earthy spiced tone. And a fruitiness. There's a distinctive fruitiness that's standing out to me. It's almost like a fruitier version of the Parfum, which the Parfum is my favorite version. So this is going to sound weird. It's a little fruity, a little earthy, and it has this menthol feel, almost like a eucalyptus or geranium kind of menthol. I could be way off here. This is just how it comes across to me. I have no clue what the notes are. Probably half of that, if not all of it's not even in the notes. Who knows? It's just how it smells to me. This one's not youthful at all. This one's a little bit more serious. Cool Water Reborn. Rebirth of DNA. This is definitely a bounce back from Oceanic Edition. I feel like it's got that same vetiver feel. Like a little bit of the funk that I got in Oceanic Editions here, but not near the BO smell that Oceanic Edition had on my skin. Also not near as it's not watery like that. There's something fruity about it. Let's pull up these notes. So apparently the Eau de Toilette came out in 2022 and this Eau de Parfum came out in 2023. I just saw there's two versions of it. I didn't see that coming. So this is a low rating on Parfumo. Kind of surprised. 5.3 out of 10. 14 ratings. It's fresh, synthetic, woody, spicy green, cedar, galbanum, Haitian vetiver. So it does have, it is that same Haitian vetiver tone that is not as fresh typically as Haitian vetiver usually is. So it is the same kind of vetiver feel that I was getting from Oceanic Edition, but it doesn't have the BO smell. The galbanum makes sense because I have this earthy feel, and that's clearly what it is this galbanum. But there's something a little fruity about this that I'm not getting. So spicy and earthy green, totally get that. Galbanum makes sense here. This is dressier than I anticipated it to be. A little bit more of a serious fragrance. No real youthfulness to it. Not that Cool Water is ever really all that youthful. Some of them will lean a little like Grapefruit and Sage. Kind of a youthful fragrance. Cool Water Wave, kind of a youthful fragrance. Not so much here. This is a very professional scent in some ways. More matured. But it doesn't have a lot of funkiness to it, which I appreciate. But it's also not as good as I expected. It does have a little bit of an ambroxan smell, though. I don't think they're giving me all the notes here, but I like it, don't love it. We'll give everything first impressions ratings at the end of the video, but let's move on. Very high hopes for Brioni Eau de Parfum Essentiel because I love all three of the other versions. The Intense was the last one I got. Not the best opening. It started to settle and it got phenomenal. The Eau de Parfum is basically Fahrenheit reimagined, but fruitier. Love it. And then the Eclat, amazing, fresh, musky citrus fragrance. Here we go. Has a translucent, like, earthy green hue to it, like a forest green almost. So let's go ahead. Love the magnetic caps. Great atomizers. Just everything about Brioni and their fragrances I have really been enjoying. Great atomizer. That's different. Because I know there's a tomato note in here. And I believe cardamom. But I don't remember all of the notes. But I remember those two. I know there's a tomato note. So that's kind of a weird, fresh, vegetal type of note. Ooh, this is not what I expected it to smell like. This is not what I expected. Ooh, this is way more playful than I thought. This is not even close to as serious as the Intense. There's something this reminds me of. And I don't even know if it's a fragrance. This is bright and vibrant and a little sweet. Still spiced, but sweet green. A sweet green fragrance. This is not even close to what I expected this to smell like. I thought this was going to be a much more mature, like, business professional scent. Kind of like the Intense and the Eau de Parfum. This is more youthful than the Eau de Parfum, the regular version. This reminds me of something. I can't pinpoint. This smells so much more pleasant and playful than I ever could have imagined that it would. What a nice twist. A curveball I didn't expect. Let's pull up the notes. I'm impressed. Here we go. Brioni Essentiel, 8.2 out of 10, 20 ratings. Woody, spicy, green, fresh citrus. So you got bergamot, tomato leaf, and cardamom. Patchouli, tonka bean. Sandalwood, frankincense. That's one thing I can say in the favor of the way these are perfumed. They do develop. The Intense developed and changed rapidly. Almost every time I went back to smell it in that video, I had a nuance change. A subtle change that just... I don't think it's better than the other two. It's like on par. This is really good. Great release in the line. Not what I expected it to smell like. And if you're in an established relationship, you're not on the prowl and looking for those mass appealing scents. You're looking for something more distinguished. Here you go. It's got a playful start, and then it becomes much more distinguished as it evolves. Very lovely. I love how the smokiness is really setting in. It's set. Man, Brioni Essential. Special. Chrome Parfum. So I know the notes for this one. Fir balsam in the base, or fir resin or something like that. And I believe it's supposed to be like really, really green. I know it's only 3 notes, and I know that's like the base note. Let's check it out, because the eau de parfum grew on me greatly. Greatly. I'm a big fan of this line. Look at this beautiful deep blue to this bottle. Love it. Love it. Big fan of Chrome. I have a bunch of versions of Chrome. Big fan of Chrome. See what we're working with here. I have high hopes. Very, very high hopes. Give it a kind of a spray and a half. We'll give that a second. Because the eau de parfum, the intense, aqua, extreme, they're all good. The original, phenomenal fragrance. I'm a huge fan of the Chrome line as a whole. I have Chrome Sport, I have Chrome Legend, I have Chrome Unite. It just goes on and on and on. There's much more that I don't have, but I have a good bit of them. Chrome Pure, and so just they pop in my head more and more. That's very green. Very, like, earthy green and a little spicy. I don't think it smells all that much like Chrome. I don't know about this. I mean, it's not bad. I just don't think it smells all that much like what I envisioned a Parfum version of Chrome to smell like. Maybe it's that initial blast, because it's changing a little bit. It's getting a touch fresher. I'm looking for metallic. I'm looking for sharp and citric. I'm looking for Chrome. It is a little metallic, but it's still very green. Very green. Wrong color to this bottle. This needs to be a forest green or an emerald green or something. It's really nice. It's a much more serious flanker, just like the Cool Water Reborn flanker. Much more serious than I expected. Nothing really all that playful so far. Seriousness to these fragrances. This is a grown man's version of designer wardrobe. You know, this wasn't expected. Well, we know the Most Wanted Parfum's playful. We'll get to that one later. Very earthy and green and woodsy. Not a whole lot of Chrome going on here. Let's pull up these notes. Here we go. Chrome Parfum. Fresh, green, aquatic, synthetic, sweet. Bergamot, sage, fir balsam, lentisk. Lentisk? I don't know what lentisk is. 1, 2, 3, 4 perfumers worked on this. Faintly aquatic. I mean, I wouldn't even rank it as 3 out of 5 for like, I would put it back there 4th, right above sweet, because it's not really all that sweet. Fresh, yeah, it's definitely fresh. Synthetic and green, sure, but it's a little bit more earthy green spice than the Accords are ranking here. Because there's nothing accounting for any spice, but there's a spicy, woodsy, green feel to this fragrance. It is very nice. It just doesn't smell all that much like Chrome. I do like it, though. I do like it a lot. I just don't know if I like it more than the Extreme, or more than the Eau de Parfum, or more than the Intense, honestly. I don't know where I would rank it in the Chrome line. Not at the bottom. Definitely not. This is very, like, springtime Chrome. It's very nice. It's going to get a really good rating. It's just not quite there's not as much tie-in to the DNA as I would have liked to see. But it's still very good. Moving on. Chrome Parfum. So the last one that I haven't tried, so there's 4 out of 7 that I've never tried. 3 out of 7 I have. So this is Lacoste L1212 Blanc Eau Fraiche. So I don't know the notes at all. But one thing I can tell you is I like the bottle. You can see that beautiful green juice. It has that texturing that the Eau de Parfum's bottle had, but this texturing was on both sides of the glass, white glass, for the Eau de Parfum. So this is the Eau Fraiche. I expect immensely fresh. It's an Eau Fraiche flanker. So let's see if that's what we got. Okay, let me slide my watch down just a little bit. See what we're working with. Okay, Kind of a spray and a half again. I'm expecting a little bit more playful this go round, you know. Oh, watery. Very watery. Juicy, watery citrus smell without being sweet. Not sharp. Mouth watering. A little bit of a bubblegum feel. Just a little touch. Okay, so this is laid back and casual. This is a t-shirt fragrance. Very a Hawaiian shirt like I'm wearing. Very much hot summer's day, casual, laid back vibe. Polo shirt even. Golf shirt, you know, cause more polyester because it's hot outside. You want to wear this when it's hot. Okay, I like this. I like this. L1212 Blanc Eau Fraiche is a good one. This is the most casual fragrance so far in the video. The three previous that we smelled in this video are much more serious than you would think. They're better dressy occasion takes on those DNAs. Whereas this is just Lacoste t-shirt with the gator on it. Polo shirt with the polo horse on it. Just t-shirt. T-shirt fragrance. Great casual feel. Great work fragrance. This is a good one. This is a good one. Let's pull up the notes. I'm very curious. I've never looked at the notes. 2022 release. Citrus, fresh, sweet, synthetic, and fruity. Grapefruit, ginger, lemon, apple, juniper, lavender, ambrofix, vetiver, and cedarwood. So some form of ambroxan. I have looked at these notes before. It looks familiar. Wrong side. It does. There's ambroxan here. It's a little bit of shower gel, but it's so fresh, juicy, and mouthwatering. Ginger surprises me. I think ginger adds a brightness to it more than a spice. Because it's not all that spicy. Maybe a little hint of some fresh spice, but not much. This is more of a crisp tone from this ginger. Not creamy, not super spicy. Definitely not warm. A little bit of warmth, but not really. A lot of woods here. Like, I relate the vibe to kind of stuff like this. I just happen to have this handy. Kind of a similar vibe to Chanel Allure Homme Sport Cologne. This is the old Cologne Sport formula. Kind of a similar vibe. Bright, fresh, woodsy. That one's much spicier than this, but there's a little hit of it. A lot of aromatics and just very bright. Very, very bright fragrance. And juicy. That's the biggest takeaway. It's a very juicy feel. This will be great on a hot day outside. This is a good one. This is a good one. This one I'll wear much more than the previous three because they're not quite as laid back and casual. They're more situational overall, whereas this is just as casual gets. It's good stuff. L1212 Blanc Eau Fraiche. Now, one I have a decant of, the newest release, L1212 Eau Intense. A lot of orange, a bit of leather. It's a goodie. So they had it in stock a while back and I missed out. Whereas I was not missing out this time. So now it's a darker hue. You have a dark green gradients. You see a lot of similarity here. Same glass and everything with that texturing on the back, but you have a dark green gradients versus that bright freshness. So, and there is differences here. Very much so. So here we go. Give it a spray. Oh, there it is. Zesty orange smell. Like a juicy but zesty, not super spiced, but still has zest. There it is, that sharp orange. So good. This was one of my favorite releases of the year. This is definitely going to make it in my top 10 design releases of the year. I like this one a lot. I like this one a lot. I'm so glad I have a bottle now. Had a decant. Been gone. Glad to have a bottle now. This one kind of falls in between. This is still a very casual fragrance overall, but this one can dress up. Super high heat situation. There's a little leather, a little bit of leather accord here to add this subtle sincerity. Like that phrase, subtle sincerity, to the scent profile, where I think it can dress up a bit more if you still want something fresh that's not a heavy wear, but still has a slightly more serious edge to the character profile. I think that's where this one comes into play. And then not all that redundant to have the Eau Fraiche with the Eau Intense. This is a good one. This has that leather from the Eau de Toilette. That's the tie-in, but instead of grapefruit and white florals, it's orange, and I forgot what else, but let's pull the notes up. So here we go. Green, fresh, woody, sweet citrus. So mandarin orange and cardamom. Lavender, mugwort, whatever that is, sage, leather, sandalwood, and vetiver. So you'll see some similar notes here, but it's much more intensified. It's mainly because of that leather accord that they have here. And the added cardamom, though, does it make it super spicy? It does add, like I said, zest to the orange, but it's not super spicy. This is a good one. This is definitely a good one. This is one of my favorite designer releases of the year. This will definitely make my top 10 designer releases of 2023 whenever we do that video at the end of the year. Super happy to have a bottle of this one. I would encourage you get out and try this. Next, I went ahead and just pulled it out the out the box. Boss the Scent Magnetic. Maninka and Bran Absolute. Weird sounding note, right? It offers kind of this grain feel to it in some ways. This one's odd, but so good. The Maninka, from what I remember, comes across a little boozy and sweet versus some of the other renditions. Oh, there it is. Beautiful. Boozy. It's a little chocolatey, but that vanilla jumps out greatly. But like I said, it's got this boozy feel. Kind of like the way the Maninka's done in the Absolute flanker. I find it ties into probably closer to the Absolute flanker than any other flanker in the line. It's so rich. It's so rich. Magnetic's a good name because this one pulls you in. Even as the wearer, it makes me want to just go back to it and go back to it. I'm so glad to have a bottle. 50 ml is going to go a super long way with me. I may never go through the bottle. Very situational fragrance, but in my opinion, the best Boss the Scent version. And that holds a lot of weight because Absolute's so good. Private Accord is so good. I know people like the Le Parfum. I have the Parfum edition, the first version, the first time they released the Le Parfum. It's the same fragrance. Across the line, the DNA is good. The original, the Intense, you name it. The only one I haven't tried is Pure Accord. It's fruity, boozy, a little woodsy, sweet. So good. So happy to have a bottle now. Let's pull these notes up. Here we go. 7.5 out of 10 with 125 ratings, so a lot of people are digging it. Sweet, gourmand, fruity, synthetic, and spicy. Maninka fruit, Bran Absolute, and vanilla. That simple. The Maninka fruit does have a little bit of a boozy tone, so keep that in mind. Like I said, it ties more to the way it's done in the Absolute. Like it's a high concentration of the Maninka. Kind of richens it up. It is a delicious smelling fragrance. Gourmand makes sense. I wouldn't technically classify it as a gourmand, but I understand why it's being ranked as a gourmand because it's a lot of vanilla and bran. It's an edible grain, you know. This is so good. Performance is really good. Sticks to the skin. Great sillage. Not a strong not some crazy room-filling projection early on, but a nice cloud that's going to linger when you walk around. This will captivate. This will grab people. Like I've stated a lot recently, this, in my opinion, is one of the top 3 designer releases of 2023. My opinion, of course. But they released this one early, beginning of the year, and it's maintained its top 3 kind of vote from me. It's just so good. Get your nose on this one, guys. It is absolutely a must-try. Boss the Scent Magnetic. Last but not least, the Most Wanted Parfum. This got a ton of praise last year. And though I do slightly prefer the Most Wanted to the Most Wanted Parfum, it's still phenomenal. And I still wanted to have a bottle. I went through a decant. I actually did a versus video between this and the Most Wanted. And the Most Wanted narrowly won out because it all comes down to just my opinion and taste. But this is a much more bright, kind of fiery hot, if you will, type of spice to it. It's a more playful fragrance overall, if you can believe that. The other one has toffee. This one doesn't have the toffee note. but it's fresher. It's fresher overall. It really is a great fragrance. It's not completely redundant to the Most Wanted, but obviously the Most Wanted DNA is in here. I would say this one kind of ventures away from the Wanted line more so than like Wanted, Wanted by Night, and the Most Wanted all kind of tie into one another pretty closely. Whereas this one kind of steps out a bit. Wanted Tonic obviously kind of stretches a bit, but as well. I haven't tried the new Wanted Eau de Parfum. I will try it eventually, but beautiful. Sweet, aromatic, fresh, but still has a little bit of spice and woods. Like I said, it's fiery hot, but fresh at the same time. It's weird the way this one worked out. This is so good, and I never see it in stock at discounters that that often anyway. So when it came around this time, this is one of the fragrances that I was like, okay, definitely getting that 50 ml because 50 ml goes a long way. That's why you see, there's two 50 mls in this video. You see me get a lot of 50 mls because, especially these more situational fragrances or evening fragrances like this, cooler weather, I don't wear them all the time. So a smaller bottle will go a long way for me. The Most Wanted, I have a 50 ml. Wanted, I have a 50 ml. You get the point. Let's pull up these notes, though. God, it's a beautiful fragrance. Good stuff. Here we go. 8.5 out of 10 with 219 ratings. Sweet, spicy, woody, gourmand, synthetic. Red ginger, woody notes, and bourbon vanilla. So you don't really get much spice out of seeing red ginger, but it's this interesting, like, it manages to be sweet, fresh, and hot and spicy at the same time. It's weird. It's good weird, but it's weird. And then it's woodsy, but not creamy like a sandalwood. Not so sharp like a cedar wood, like it's a softer wood, like a blonde wood hanging out in there. It's beautiful stuff. Synthetic as an accord, yeah, I agree. It's definitely on the synthetic side. Super mass appealing though. You can absolutely wear this one during the day. Obviously, I would think slightly cooler weather, not a high heat fragrance at all. Going to be just too cloying and just overwhelmingly not good for the heat. But spring, fall, winter, even daytime, yeah. Absolutely. More so than the Most Wanted. The Most Wanted sweeter than this. Oh, just a beautiful fragrance. So let's give them all some ratings. So, Cool Water Reborn Eau de Parfum. I didn't realize there was two versions. Well, this has settled down nicely. It's still earthy and spicy, but more woodsy than it was before. Doesn't have as much of that shower gel feel going. It's tamed, but still maintains that kind of seriousness that the DNA immediately struck me with. I like this. This is very good. Not the best version of Cool Water, but far from the worst. I like this one. This is very good. 7.5 out of 10. I think this one deserves some praise. It's good. Very good. Not quite great, though. I don't think it's as good as, say, the Parfum, for example, is still my favorite. I like Wave better. Grapefruit and Sage a little bit more. I would put this on par with like the Intense. Not going to be as crazy powerful as the Intense, but it's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum, whereas that's very playful, bubblegummy, coconut amber. This is a bit more subdued, earthy, woodsy, spicy. So kind of diverse in the same line, but I feel like if you have that one as your playful, casual fragrance, this can be your more serious side, evening workwear. Good stuff, 7.5 out of 10. Brioni Eau de Parfum Essentiel. Somebody that doesn't like all the sweetness, doesn't like all the synthetics. You just want a nice, well put together, well-rounded fragrance that can kind of do everything. Essential is a great name for this flanker now that I've had time for it to settle in a bit and calm down. This is a great fragrance. This is better than Cool Water Reborn. This is an 8 out of 10. I think this is very well composed. They continue to impress me with this Brioni fragrance line. I can't wait to see if and when they do a fifth fragrance. I anticipate it to be greatness again because I've yet to give anything lower than an 8 out of 10 because they don't do anything that's not great. Next, we have Azzaro's Chrome Parfum. Not what I expected. Let's see if it smells more like chrome. With this one, I think it's not what I expected it to be, but that's not a downgrade or a bad thing because the Parfum should be a more serious version. That's typically the route they go with designers, and I agree with that. And this is definitely a more serious take. It's much, much greener than I even expected it to be. I expected green, but super green. Not near as metallic, just a touch of it early on. This is very good as well. It's not the best version of Chrome, but it's still a very good version of Chrome. I think this one's a 7.5 out of 10. I'm really digging this one. There's room for this rating to grow and expand into the 8 territory for sure as I do a full review, because this is one I'm probably most likely, I guess you could say, going to do a full review on. I have to spend some more time with it, but where we're at right now, 7.5 out of 10. Cost L1212 Eau Fraiche. Love it. Love it. The most casual fragrance in this video. Such a vibe. Such a great casual vibe. Really goes with the attire and the vibe I have going today myself. I think that's why I'm digging it so much. If I wasn't wearing Atelier Cologne specific line, I'd probably throw this on. It really fits what I'm going for today. I think this one's great at an 8 out of 10. I'm a big fan of this fragrance. I was missing out. This was a total blind buy, as were the previous 3 that we discussed. 8 out of 10, I think, is a really good rating for this one. I'm going to do a full review on this one as well. This is great. 8 out of 10. Cost L1212 Blanc Eau Intense. The newest release. Big fan. Zesty orange, subtle leather, soft woods. Still has that casual vibe, but touch of elegance. Subtle, but serious. Subtle sincerity, like I was saying earlier. I think this one's great as well at an 8 out of 10. Both the Lacoste fragrance in this video, 8 out of 10 fragrances in my opinion. Not completely redundant to one another. There's clear redundance, but it's not too redundant. I think they add a little bit of diversity in a wardrobe if you're a fan of this DNA. I think they're both welcomed additions to the L1212 Blanc line because they've created a line out of their most popular L1212 fragrance. And I think the addition of leather and the switch up to orange was a great move. 8 out of 10. Boss the Scent Magnetic. I want to say I gave this an 8.5 out of 10 when I did my first impressions on this one. So it's a revisit. I think with Lacoste I gave that an 8 or an 8.5. I don't remember, but trying to be consistent, but it's how I feel in the moment anyways. But it's an 8.5 out of 10. Let's get that out the way now. It's bordering outstanding. I mean, full review could warrant a 9 out of 10 for sure. It's one that I'm happy to have back. I just had a very small sample size of it prior, months and months and months ago at the beginning of the year. So it's nice to have a 50 ml now. I will be doing some evening wear out of this one, mainly when it gets closer to the fall. Not the best choice right now in this high heat, but a phenomenal fragrance that I would encourage you to get your nose on. It's absolutely great at an 8.5 out of 10. Last but not least, Azzaro, the Most Wanted Parfum. Beautiful stuff. It's a lovely fragrance. Lovely, lovely fragrance. If you like mass appealing, fresh, spicy, woodsy, sweet, like everything that's to like about a typical designer that's built for people to tell you smell nice. That's basically what this is. This is built for people to say, ooh, you smell really good. This is one of those fragrances. It's going to get complimented. The likelihood's heightened anyways. There's no guarantees you're going to get a compliment if you get this fragrance. Please don't misconstrue what I'm saying. Nothing's guaranteed with that, but the probability goes up with fragrances like this. This is a highly complimented scent profile, and I mean, it's one of the best in the line. It's an 8.5 out of 10, great as well. It's better than Wanted by Night. It's better than Wanted. It's better than Wanted Tonic. It's on par, at minimum, with the Most Wanted, its previous version. I haven't tried the newest Eau de Parfum. I will at some point, but I mean, this and the Most Wanted, you can't go wrong with either one, but great, 8.5 out of 10. Well, that's the haul. That is the first impressions on 4 and a revisit to 3. 7 fragrances in total. I know this is a long video. I'll try to cut it down as much as I can. But until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. And I love hearing from you guys. Of these 7, what have you tried? What do you think about them? Did any of these spark your interest? I don't know what's still in stock, because stuff sells out so quickly from Fragrance Buy, but I'll have links to everything down below. If it's out of stock, just click notify me and put in your email. and you'll get an email as soon as they restock. I do it all the time. That's how I was alerted to buy these fragrances in the first place, because I had the alert turned on these two. So that's how this happened in the first place. So just because it's out of stock now doesn't mean you might not get it again in a week or 2 weeks or whenever. Usually if it's close, they'll have a date. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on any of the 7 we featured in this video and you give a spray now, you'll probably end up thanking me later. Have a good one, guys.